What is the Kepner Tragoe matrix? Well, this is a tool that's used in decision making, and it basically combines a root cause analysis into a decision making approach where you compare alternatives. The process used as part of this matrix is you begin with a decision statement that states the intended action and results for a particular scenario or situation where you have to choose between alternatives. Okay, you established what are the absolute necessities, the musts, what are some of the objectives that you would like to achieve in the situation, the wants, and then what are some boundaries or things that have to be present, but you can't go beyond a certain scope. So what are the limits of the situation? Now, once you identify these, you have a context in which you're going to make the decision. Okay, so with that being said, you will then rank your objectives or your wants inside the limits of the musts, and to determine what are the variables that are going to change between the decisions, because the only viable alternatives must be within the limits and the musts. So you're focusing again on the objectives, the wants, and then you assign weights to those wants. What's the most important part of the situation or scenario that could give rise to this want or this want or this want? Okay, so you'll try to closely link them together. Then, once you've evaluated the wants or objectives inside each decision and given them a weight, you will generate alternatives that come up with the most favorable scenario for you. Okay, you will start to compare the objectives of each in doing so and come up with some level of score, some quantifiable metric for each objective or want present in any given alternative that you could potentially choose in the decision-making process. Okay, and then from there you'll simply identify the top potential alternatives or decisions based upon the weighted score among these different objectives or wants within a given decision path. So once you've identified the top potential alternatives for your decision, then you'll list any potential adverse consequences associated with the decision. And what you're going to do is you're going to identify the probability of the negative outcome and the severity of the negative outcome. And you'll come up with some formula for multiplying these together to come up with a score for, consequences. And then you're going to have to identify the benefits or the weighted score associated with the objectives against the probability of a negative consequence. Now, if you do a simple analysis and say one has a ton of value but also has a ton of potential negative consequence, one has less value but almost no potential negative consequence, then it's going to be based on the decision maker as to which they prefer in that scenario, and what is the context or nature of the decision when comparing the two. But these will be the variables you use to make your decision. So as you can see, this is kind of a matrix framework again that allows you to make a choice between alternatives, and you're implementing the elements of a root cause, or what is the cause of positive and negative consequences in the decision. So this is the Kepner Tragoe matrix.